Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine building this incredible career, becoming a national sensation, really. And then you find out that the very public attention you've earned, well, it can twist into something really quite sinister. It really makes you think, what are those hidden costs? The unseen risks of being out there in the public eye, especially now.
Right.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into a recent, pretty high-profile legal case. It really brings these questions right to the surface, and it involves WNBA star Caitlin Clark.
And what's fascinating here, I think, is that this isn't just, another headline that flashes by. This case, it really could set a significant precedent.
How so?
Well, regarding personal safety, sure, but also the nature of digital threats, especially for people who are, public figures. Our sources today, they're mainly from a news article detailing the outcome, the legal outcome. So it gives us a pretty clear window into how the courts are responding.
Responding to these kinds of acts, yeah.
Exactly. Disturbing acts in, the modern age. It shows how quickly these digital messages can escalate. We're talking felony charges here.
That's a really crucial point. So our mission here, for you listening, is to get past those headlines. We want to really unpack the critical details of this case, understand what the verdict really means, its implications, and connect it all back to that bigger, sometimes unsettling conversation about safety, online interactions, all of that. So by the end of this deep dive, you'll be really well informed, not just on the facts, but what they actually signal.
Yeah, the context.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay, the story unfolds with two main people. First, obviously, Caitlin Clark. She's the 23-year-old point guard for the Indiana Fever, huge WNBA star. Just her rise has been meteoric, hasn't it?
Absolutely captivating. And on the other side, we have Michael Lewis. He's a 55-year-old man from Denton, Texas.
Yeah.
And he's the one who pleaded guilty to stalking her.
Stalking her. And the specifics of what Lewis actually did,
Yeah.
well, they're profoundly disturbing.
They really are. He was accused of sending these sexually violent messages to Clark through social media, actions that, clearly they impacted her sense of security. They created this deeply unsettling environment for her.
Yeah.
This wasn't just like random online noise. It quickly became a very direct, very invasive threat.
And the messages themselves, these are from court documents, right?
Oh.
They read like something chilling. This was terrifyingly real for her.
Mm-hmm.
He sent things like, been driving around your house 3x a day, and then adds, but don't call the law just yet. The public is allowed to drive by Gainbridge, a.k.a. Caitlin's Fieldhouse.
That reference to the arena, it's incredibly specific.
It is. And another one, I'm getting tickets. I'm sitting behind the bench,
Yeah.
just declaring intent. And then maybe the most, unsettling, he wrote, they said I was sending threatening texts, but the only thought on my mind was Kate Lee, age 3, NNN.
Wow.
It's not just words, is it? It paints this picture of, like, escalating obsession, a clear intent to get into her personal space, her professional space.
And this pattern, this disturbing behavior, it didn't go unnoticed. It led pretty quickly to legal action. Michael Lewis, he was arrested back in January at a hotel in Indianapolis. And the charge was felony stalking. His plea in court was, well, remarkably direct. He admitted right then in January, guilty as charged.
That immediate guilty as charged. That's quite striking, isn't it? Does that sometimes, hide the complexity? Or was this case really just that clear cut?
Well, in this instance, it seems the evidence the prosecution had was quite strong. The pattern of behavior was well documented.
Right.
And that often leads to a more, let's say, direct path to resolution once someone's apprehended. And the legal system certainly responded with a clear outcome. Lewis was sentenced just this past Monday, July 28th, 2025. 2.5 years in prison.
2.5 years.
And it's important to note, too, that sentence includes credit for the time he'd already served. Since his arrest, waiting in the Marion County Adult Detention Center, that's a pretty standard procedure. All time counts towards the overall sentence.
Okay, that makes sense. And beyond the prison time itself, the judge also laid out some very specific orders for Lewis, didn't he?
Yes, quite specific. He's forbidden from contacting Clark in any way. He has to stay completely away from Indiana Fever games and also Indiana Pacers games.
Both teams, okay.
And perhaps most notably, he's completely banned from using the internet during his entire sentence.
Wow, the whole sentence, no internet. That really speaks volumes about trying to protect Caitlin, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And the prosecutor, Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears, he really highlighted this. He said, this resolution ensures that the defendant is held accountable for the threats, the fear he caused, the disruption.
For fear, yeah.
Mears also said, Lewis, will now spend the next 2.5 years in the Department of Corrections, and the victim will be able to have peace of mind while focusing on what matters to her.
Peace of mind. That's the goal.
Exactly. And this approach, especially that internet ban, that's a key development, I think. It shows courts are really recognizing how digital platforms are used, as tools for harassment.
Right. It's the modern reality.
It is, and they're imposing restrictions that directly address that modern threat. It's a clear signal, really. Online actions, real-world consequences. And the legal system is, well, it's evolving to try and meet these new challenges.
That's powerful. And it's just a stark reminder, isn't it? Behind these headlines, it's real people, real trauma.
Yeah.
And speaking of Lewis, his behavior in court, that also gave us a kind of unsettling glimpse into the human element here.
Yes, there was a moment. During the proceedings, he apparently made a rather disturbing statement. He declared that the end of the world was coming.
That's unsettling. How did the court react to that?
Well, the judge's response was actually quite poignant, perhaps. He advised Lewis directly, you can't help yourself until you get help.
Get help.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we don't speculate on diagnoses or anything like that, but it does highlight a broader sort of societal issue, doesn't it? When individuals show that kind of behavior in a legal setting. The judge's advice, it points towards a recognized need, a need for intervention that maybe goes beyond just punishment.
Addressing underlying issues.
Potentially, yes. Addressing whatever underlying issues might be contributing to such actions, according to the judge's observation, at least.
So, okay. We've covered a lot. What does this all really mean then? This deep dive, it's really pulled back the curtain on a very serious case involving Caitlin Clark. We've seen the disturbing actions, the stalker-specific actions, the clear legal consequences he faced, that prison sentence, those orders, and the pretty robust protective measures the court tried to put in place for her.
Right.
Just undeniably underscores the challenges, right? The often hidden dangers that public figures have to navigate just for doing what they love, being in the spotlight.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, I think this case really serves as a powerful reminder, about safety in our, increasingly digital world.
Yeah.
And the critical role the legal system has to play in addressing threats, especially threats that are, made easier by online platforms. Understanding these evolving dynamics, it really is empowering. It sheds light on how law enforcement, the courts, how they're adapting to try and protect people from these modern kinds of harassment.
So this deep dive into Caitlin Clark's case, it highlights not just, the outcome of a serious crime, which is important, but also that really delicate, sometimes perilous balance between public admiration, fandom, and personal boundaries, especially in our super connected world.
Exactly. It really raises an important question, I think, for you, the listener, to consider. What responsibilities do we have as a society to protect individuals from these kinds of threats, digital and physical, that pop up just because they live their lives in public?